Hello, 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 and welcome back. I hope you're all doing well and ready for this amazing recipe, ciabatta. I love bread, and I hope you do too. This is considered one of the easiest Italian breads to make, and it's a process, but it's a very straightforward process, and I guarantee you success from the start, from the first time that you try. We're going to start from the night before. We're going to make a bega. Bega is the starter. So there are different types of starters. I prefer to do the bega. You can search other types of starters like Polish or other things, but Italians use bega anyway. So I'm going to start with all of the bread for the recipe and some of the water and some of the yeast, and I'm going to just add the water and the yeast to the bread and to the to the flour, sorry. And I recommend using bread flour. If you don't have it, you can use all-purpose flour, but I don't guarantee that the result is going to be the same. Bread flour is high in protein and develops gluten better. Okay, you want to mix this very well. Like, we're going to need, but we're not going to need to create like the gluten or to develop the gluten here. We are going to need, because you want all of the flour to disappear, otherwise it's not going to proof. Okay, if you feel like your dough is a little bit hard to work with, you can add like a tablespoon of water, like how I did, and that's it. We're going to cover everything and use a towel as well if your kitchen is a little bit cold, or you can put it in a place that is a little bit warm, and you're going to say goodbye to it for now and let it sleep overnight, and then the next morning you are going to see an amazing result. It's going to be doubled in size, it's going to be like proved well, and all what you're looking for in a starter. Now I'm going to add the rest of the water and the rest of the yeast. But we're not going to add any more flour here because we added all of the flour that we needed to the bega from last night. Okay, now here you are going to, this is going to require some work from you from now on. Mix the yeast and the flour together, the yeast and the water together. Make sure that your water is always warm and not cold. Not hot, but not cold. Okay, if you have a thermometer, you can use it to test the temperature of the water, which is supposed to be around 37, 38 degrees. Okay, now add the bega or the starter to the water and the yeast, the extra. I have all of the ingredients written in the description box, in grams if you're very precise, and in cups. I prefer to use the grams, to be honest, because you want to calculate the amount of water precisely. Okay, I added a little bit of olive oil here, and now get in there with your hand and start kneading. It's going to look very weird at the beginning, like the water and the oil and the yeast are not incorporating into the dough of the biga, but just continue and everything is going to come together in like around 5 to 6 minutes of kneading. It's going to come together. Okay, it's going to be very wet. So this dough is wet. Ciabatta is one of those types of bread that they are very high in moisture, and this is what we actually need. We need it to be a very sticky dough. Okay, so after a little bit of mixing, you're going to notice that everything is incorporating, it's coming together, but it is going to be a sticky dough. So don't be scared, okay? And if you have a scraper, you are going to need it here because it's going to make your life so much easier. If you don't have a scraper, you can continue with your hand, or you can continue with something like a spatula, like just not a wooden one, I would say, just like a plastic one. But I transferred the dough here the table or your work surface and just knead a little bit, then cover it again. See, the scraper works wonders with cleaning as well. Cover it again and leave it for around 30 minutes. So now we're going to do this, or like kneading every 30 minutes for around an hour and a half. So every time that you are, every 30 minutes, you're going to notice that the dough is coming together even better. You're going to see it now when I use the scraper to work the dough. So we're going to stretch the dough here, meaning we're going to work in a circle, take like the dough from the edge and bring it to the center. And if you want to know that your dough is actually a successful dough or like a very good dough, this is what you're going to look for. The dough comes together in one piece. Regardless of the fact that it's sticky, when you lift it, it comes together. Now you're going to leave it for another 30 minutes. Do the same thing, another 30 minutes, and then you're going to come to do this. Sprinkle flour over your work surface and bring the dough. And then you're going to sprinkle the dough with flour as well. Use as much flour as you need. Do not be shy with the flour. Okay, now with your hands, just flatten the dough a little bit and then use the scraper or a knife. You don't want to cut this with your hands. You don't want to just tear the dough. So cut it into two. So you can double the amount of ingredients or the recipe that I have in the description box, but I was just making two pieces here, to be honest. So now roll every piece, roll it, because now we're going to shape it. So roll it and put it like to try to pinch as well at the end of the roll so it doesn't unravel. Okay, bring a towel. This is another trick that Italians use a lot. Okay, so to proof it for the last proof and to do the last shaping, we're going to do this with a towel. If you have something better that you can use, you can definitely use it, but traditionally, this is what happens. So you put your two pieces in the towel and pinch the towel to the sides, on the sides, so it kind of keep the shape of the ciabatta or the bread in place. So when it proves, it does not just go everywhere. Okay, now cover it again, leave it this time for around 40 to 45 minutes to an hour if you have time. Preheat your oven before you transfer your shaped dough to the oven tray, 180 to 200 degrees. I would say if your oven is too hot, leave it at the 180, and if your oven is just like mine, which is a small one, convection oven, you can do it at 200. You're going to leave it in the oven to bake for around 15 to 18 minutes, I would say. Keep an eye on it. It doesn't color too much, but this is what you're looking for. You're looking for that kind of hollow sound and like to know that there's so much air in it. And look at this. When it came out of the oven, I just made a sandwich with tomatoes and cheese, and it was amazing. This is a nice recipe, something that I'm very proud of. So please try, and if you do, let me know. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.